So I've been reading the Transgender Child. I was just curious if you could read these. I've highlighted them and then just kind of react.
Right.
There you go.
It is so funny when people ask me how I know I am a boy. I just ask them, how do you know you're a boy? It's such a silly question. You just know these things I have known all my life. Tommy, 7-year-old transgender boy. Now that's a girl, remember. So these people are interrupting their children's natural development towards what's called sex permanence. We know this about children's early development. We know that they think that you can turn a boy into a girl by changing their clothes and their hairstyle and by calling them a different name. But somewhere between 2 and 7, children learn actually that it's about the body, and that if you put a boy into a dress, he's still a boy, which is the understanding that sex is permanent, that it's a characteristic of people. I have 2 children myself, both are boys, and the younger one was a train between age 2 and 4. And I am not exaggerating, that child was a train. He was a purple train specifically. And he called his body parts train parts. Like, not all the time, he also knew he was a boy, but it was an immersive fiction of the sort that I've since met other parents whose children were horses, they were dinosaurs, they were a lot of trains. You know, he would say, I want purple paint today, when he wanted to put on a purple T-shirt. He would call his hands his buffers. He would walk around the house in straight lines, and he would walk into walls. And then he would reverse out and he would change the points and he would walk a different direction. And he was in this wonderful, imaginative world. And I was really sad in a way when he was around 4 and this just naturally ended. Children are like this. The idea that you could know all your life that you are something that you actually are not, that's fine when you're little. Grown-ups don't have to lie to you and say it's true. I mean, I didn't spend my time saying to my son, you're not really a train. Like, I played along. But I didn't go trying to give him coal. As parents, we have been faced with 2 choices. We could either choose to allow her to express herself, or we could teach her to suppress her true self, possibly leading to depression and low self-worth. That's the parent of a 6-year-old transgender daughter. You have another choice, mate. You could just say, you know, darling, you're a boy, but you do you. Whatever it is you think that being a girl would allow you to do, you can do it. Do it now. Trust your child fully and completely. Like, where's the limits of this self-definition? I would like to know what these people, because I bet you they're super liberal Americans, I wonder what they'd say if their child said, I'm black, mum. I would also tell other parents to trust their kids to guide them on this journey. Why? Trust the kids to guide them on this journey. This is like child as Deepak Chopra journey to self-discovery. It's not what I think of parenting as being. Both my husband and I have a background in social justice education. But even with 2 degrees in gender studies between us, we realised that no one is more of an expert on any of this than our child. See, that's what shows gender study is bullshit. I have a PhD in mathematics, and I know for an absolute certainty that I know a great deal more about mathematics than my children. I've forgotten most of it, and my children are quite good at maths, so maybe that's not true anymore. But certainly when my child was 8, I genuinely knew a lot more about mathematics because I bloody well studied it. So if you have 2 degrees in gender studies and your boy, by saying I'm really a girl, knows more than you do, then you learnt nothing. I would like to say to those who do not understand, watch out, I will protect my kid. Parent of a 7-year-old transgender son. So that's a girl who identifies as a boy, and this reads as a threat to anyone who says, I'm sorry, I know that child is a girl. Our daughter tried to tell us she was transgender when she was 12. We told her she was a lesbian and was just confused. She didn't bring it up again, so we thought we'd been right. But after she'd been hospitalised for the 3rd time for a severe eating disorder, her new team helped us to understand that our child is actually a boy, not a girl. We were the reason our child was suffering. That blow was the hardest of all. We had caused him years of pain and suffering when we had thought we were being supportive. Parent of a 15-year-old transgender son. I feel very sorry for these people. You know, it's the biggest fear you have as a parent, that you're going to screw it all up, that your child is going to blame you for the rest of your life for something that you thought you were doing well. There's a line from, I think it's one of T.S. Eliot's poems, things ill done and done to others harm, which once you thought you took for exercise of virtue. But the thing is, there's people the other way round, and we know from the figures that it's more the other way round. The kids I know who are detransitioners, they don't blame their parents. They thought parents were doing what they thought was the right thing, but their parents are absolutely consumed with guilt. He may refer to himself as a boy, but say he wishes he were a girl. He has asked how old he can be before he can have his pee-pee cut off. Oh God, now I feel sick. Why can they not just say we don't generally cut people's healthy body parts off? You know, sweetie pie, I think, you know, your ideas about your body and so on are just going to change a lot. This thing called puberty will come along and hit you like a freight train. It wasn't surprising because my child, assigned male at birth, had enjoyed wearing skirts and dresses since they were 3. Wow. This little boy likes wearing skirts, does he? Let's chop his off. That'll teach him.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I tell my kindergartner that I know he's a girl, but that he can be a girl and a mommy when he grows up. For now, he will be a boy at school because people don't understand. See, this is just outrageous. This poor little boy thinks the grown-ups are telling him the truth. This is a 6-year-old. I watched this horrific programme, and they had this cute little boy who really wanted to be a girl, and the mum thought it was the best thing to do. And then he went along to the gender clinic, and he was about 9 at this point. And suddenly he said on camera, when he grew up, he very much wanted to be a mother. He wanted to get pregnant and have a baby, but he understood that he was not going to be able to get the baby out the way that most women could. He'd have to go to Sweden and get the baby cut out. And then there was this silence, and the mother and the gender clinician looked at each other, and neither of them said, "Darling, let's stop you right there. That's not going to happen. This can't happen. We can't, you are not going to be able to get pregnant." And that was the moment that we saw that child being sterilised.
Right.
Like, it's your job to pass down knowledge and information to your children. Our daughter is quite distressed about the possibility of growing facial hair and having a penis. But we have let her know in child-appropriate language that we can get her medical help when the time is right. And this is another totally dishonest and irresponsible parent. This is a 7-year-old boy who's told that he can be a girl, and he's presumably been told he is a girl, and of course then he's distressed at the idea of growing a beard and having a penis, as opposed to saying, look, you are a boy. But, some boys, they are really flamboyant, and you can wear nail polish too, and whatever it is you want to do it. And letting this boy get used to the fact that he is a boy. Instead, they've suggested that at some stage in the future, they will be able to fix this. And I mean, we're talking about Frankenstein-level surgery here for this boy. He's not going to have a functional vagina. He's certainly not going to be a mother. He's not going to have normal penetrative female sex. He's not going to orgasm, any of those things. We can get our medical help when the time is right. This poor child thinks that he can be turned into a girl.
That one particularly struck me. It just, we'll cut off your dick when it's appropriate. It's just such a grotesque thing to say to a child.
When we told my family it was my own father, my child's grandfather, who had the worst reaction, he actually called Child Protective Services to say I was turning my child into a girl. He is no longer part of our lives. Mother of a 6-year-old gender-expansive child. That's a family tragedy right there, isn't it? I don't know what I'd do. I mean, they're meant to just sit by and watch while a child is lied to in ways that are going to be consequential for the rest of their lives. And you know what? The things that make people happy in their lives, they have loved ones, they fall in love, they form a family. For most people, having children is going to be part of their happiness. And these children are having all of that taken away from them at age 6. That was fun.